Alright, hello, everyone. Welcome to Tabletop Tuesday. I know, hun.
Damien, leave it.
Let me turn this down some more. Alright, so that way it's not overwhelming my voice. So welcome everyone to Tabletop Tuesday, where we basically attempt to educate you on some sort of tabletop gaming. And hopefully you have some fun watching some random shit in the background while we discuss this. But we got a couple announcements to make before we get into it, because it's always a couple announcements. Announcement number one, our sponsor for the foreseeable future, Shockbite Gaming Servers. Their link is down below. Their servers start at $2.50 USD a month, and they do games like Minecraft, Ark Survival Evolved, Rust, Terraria, Valheim, and like a bunch of others. So check it out. The servers run fairly well. I've had very little difficulties with them, unless it was the mod pack for Minecraft itself that was causing issues. So definitely check that out. The second thing is, oh yeah, hype! Thank you, JC82. And by the way, forgot to do this because you joined. Welcome to the tavern. Grab yourself a mug of ale, pull up a chair, have fun, and don't fireball my goddamn tavern. Announcement number two is our artists. If you want to get added to the art list, by all means, send me a link to your artwork. Do check it out, and we'll discuss it. But if you want to check out these artists to see if they, you want to commission them, by all means, they're more than willing to take that. And there is that. Hun, never mind. She's not in the room. I need to take a step back for a second. Grab this. Need my water.
Welcome, traveler.
Squid 2175. Welcome to the tavern. Grab yourself a mug of ale. Pull up a chair. Have fun, and don't fireball my tavern. I'm gonna drink some water. Prost! I think that's how you say that. Whatever. So, the question then, of course, what is Tabletop Tuesday? Like I said, we educate people on gaming, things of that nature. And, of course, I do this education in tandem with another person, my partner in crime, CandidGamera.
Hello.
Okay, I keep turning this down, and it keeps still being loud, so I'm going to just have to turn down the game entirely. Because you're soft compared to the game, and I keep turning the game down, and it's just not getting it. It's really annoying.
I mean, make sure my volume's all the way up and everything.
Squid, Gloomhaven or bust? I'm trying to remember Gloomhaven. Do you know what he's talking about with Gloomhaven?
I mean, I've seen the board game. I've never played it myself, but...
Okay.
Is there a video game version too?
Maybe? Let me check. Gloomhaven. Yes, it's on Steam.
Oh, cool.
Yep. It's a new game. I'll have to check that out at some point. It's free on Epic. Oh. Wonder if I grabbed it already. I probably did, and I don't remember. Because I do that a lot. I'll be like,
yeah.
Oh, hey, I grabbed the game. There's a reason why I have a giant spreadsheet with every game I own on it. Because it's like, if I don't do that, I don't remember shit.
Yeah.
It's a problem. Let's see. Free on Epic right now is Ark Survival Evolved. By the way, fun game. I highly recommend that one. And Gloomhaven. Let's see. I already have Ark. Yeah, I already have Gloomhaven. I got it earlier. Alright, so I'm good. I know you've played Minecraft, Gamera.
Yes.
Have you played Ark before?
No.
Alright, think of it as like a better graphics version of Minecraft with dinosaurs.
Right.
And you can actually breed the dinosaurs for traits.
Huh.
Yeah, and they gain levels and stuff, and as they get up in levels, they become more powerful.
Neat.
Yeah, it's kind of neat. I want to give it a try one day. Maybe we'll do that for a break from Stellaris.
Yes. You mean as soon as we finish getting crushed?
Yeah, pretty much. But if you want, I'd say get on Epic and grab it while it's free.
I have to see if I have an Epic Game Store account, because if I don't, I'm not gonna make one. I'm gonna be honest. Too many accounts.
That's fair. How long is it going to be on free? Till the 29th. It's free till the 29th. Then you can't get it again. You'll have to pay for it.
Right.
I think Steam has it too. Either way, we've yammered on, oh my god, on the side enough. Let's talk about what we're going to talk about today, and I have Final Fantasy XIV in the background.
And I'm playing Stellaris, as it happens.
So we're going to today talk about Rangers. Rangers, aka bounty hunting for fun and profit. Alright. I'm going to preface this because this is important. Bounty Hunter in Pathfinder is significantly better than Bounty Hunter in 5th Ed. Like, there's a common joke passed around with 5th Ed players, and that is, if you want to play a Ranger, just play a fighter with a bow. It's much better.
Yeah, Ranger started out very, very weak, and took them a while to kind of fix it, and it seems like they're in a better place now, but still, wow.
It's still on the weaker end of the classes, even with the fixes.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's at least playable.
Yep.
Before it wasn't. When Ranger first came out for 5th edition, it was not playable. You could not play it. It was complete garbage. You were going to have a bad time. And to Wizards' testament, to they fixed it, at least in Tasha's, to where it's playable. All right, so let's talk about Ranger in 5th Ed, and then when you see how it behaves, and then I explain Ranger in Pathfinder, you'll realize real quick why Ranger is better in Pathfinder. All right. For one, Rangers have a D10 hit die. That's really super helpful for any kind of martial character.
Mm-hmm.
Their saves are Dex and Strength, which means the Dexterity is not bad for, AOE's.
It's a good save to have.
It's a good save to have. Strength is a worthless save to have.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't think of anything.
You will very rarely make a Strength save. Proficiency, you get medium armor, shields, martial weapons. They're pretty good, which means you're probably going to go dexterity-based build. You also get 3 skills, so it's not bad. It's more than most classes.
Yeah.
The favored enemy in 5th Ed is situational by nature at best, because they threw in way more creature types.
Yeah, and some things got shifted around in creature type a little bit, which can definitely hurt you if you're coming from a Pathfinder background.
Yeah. Aberrations are not bad, but unfortunately, they have very few of them above level 10 now, which is a huge hit. I always loved the higher CR aberrations.
Like aboleths and stuff.
Yeah. Damien, you're okay, bud. Where's my wife? Yelga! I'm trying to see where she disappeared to all of a sudden.
Maybe your daughter ambushed her, knocked her out,
I doubt that.
took her laptop back.
Beasts are good at low levels. Yes, that's the pupper. See, there is the puppy.
Yeah, pupper.
He's chewing on something. That's what he does. Oh, I was just wondering where you disappeared to, because all of a sudden, I turn around and you're not there.
I went and hid in our room so I didn't strangle our daughter.
Fair enough.
Here, if you want a puppy, I bring puppy.
Oh, you're gonna... Okay, we'll get
puppies.
we'll get close up of puppy. Oh, hey.
Lick his face. Lick his face.
I'm
Lick his
gonna
face.
attack my pupper! All right.
You-
It's the puppy stream now. Puppy's like, what the hell is this shit?
lick the daddy. Lick the daddies.
Alright, he's not licking. He's just putting his nose to me. I don't taste like food right now, so that's why he's not doing it.
Can I get him to lick your face? Good boy.
Beasts are good at low levels, but once again, once you get BRCR5, you will pretty much stop facing them.
Yeah.
What?
Damn it, Damien.
Did he pee?
Yes, and I just put my sock right into it. So guess what
Ah.
I'm going to use to clean it up?
That sucks. Constructs, they actually lessen the number of constructs.
Interesting. It was not a terribly strong type before, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Do me a favor, hon. Please. Can you fill this with water? I'm asking, please.
Thank you, you say please.
Yes. Yeah, they lessened the number of constructs from Pathfinder to 5th Ed. By quite a bit.
Yeah, I guess you
Go
know
to
without
bed.
5 dozen different golem types, you know, that does cut into it a bit.
Yeah. They mainly focused it strictly on golems.
Bro, turn your
There
light
are
off,
very
go to
few
bed.
other constructs. There's some constructs they introduced with Magic the Gathering stuff,
Yes.
but they didn't bring in a lot of them. And I feel like that's a little odd because Magic has a lot of constructs they could have easily used to make some great monsters.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's an untapped area.
Yeah, they definitely could expand that list very easily.
Now, here's one that may surprise you, but is also really a bad decision. They lessened the number of dragons in the game.
I mean, you've got your 5 metallics and 5 chromatics at least.
I think, let me double check. Something just went flying over here. Hi, please don't shoot me, damn it.
I already did. Got you to the shoulder.
No, you didn't. I didn't feel
Oh,
it.
yeah, it nailed your shoulder and bounced.
It hit my chair, hon. It hit my chair. Ow! Fuck. Yeah, I feel that. I'm being shot. Alright. Let's see. Not that close. God damn it.
It's like watching you jump.
Damn.
Let's see what we got here.
Damn.
We got gem dragons,
No nit.
Bliss, Boreal, Cloud, Black, Blue, Brine, Bronze, Copper, Flame, Fairy, Forest, Gold, Green. Why did you know the website I looked up for favorite enemies basically tell me there's less dragons? There are more damn dragons. What drugs are you people on, and why aren't you sharing? There's drakes, and they count as dragons.
Okay, so sounds like dragon's a pretty good type at least.
Yeah, I would say dragon would be a good type, despite what RPG Bot may say about.
Well,
Favorite enemies.
okay, so RPG Bot often, writes a guide and then doesn't update it. And because of the wide variety of content in some games, he'll say, like, I'm only considering these sources. So he may not have considered a lot of the supplemental books that have added more dragons.
Yeah.
So I get where that's coming from.
Yeah, I guess. It was just like, that seemed weird. Let me look at elementals, because they also said not a lot of elementals. There's a fuck ton of elementals.
He pooped on the floor. 5 steps.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry. Thank goodness for socks.
Yep. That's the second set of socks that need washed now. So there's plenty of
I
elementals.
didn't realize he had pooped.
The Fae, I will agree, don't have a lot in the monster manual. And there tend to be low CRs. Because Fae tend to focus more on trickery than threat. So if a DM knows how to use a Fae, yeah, they can be really dangerous, but otherwise, I wouldn't worry about it. Fiends are a good choice if you're, especially in a good campaign.
Yeah.
Giants, I wouldn't say are necessarily a bad choice. They're not a great choice, though. So I see what they did with aberrations. All right, remember how we said there's like we love the higher level aberrations?
Yeah.
They gave them their own category, monstrosities.
Oh.
I don't
Okay.
like that.
I mean, it's not ideal.
It's definitely not. I don't say like I hate it. It's just more like that just seems overly complicated. If that makes sense.
Sure.
It's like why would you do this? That seems kind of weird. Oozes, I really usually don't recommend oozes unless you plan on hitting them. Plants the same way. There tends not to be a lot of plants. Undead is a great choice because they cover almost every CR in the game, and they tend to make iconic and numerous enemies too.
Leave it.
Yeah.
And then there's humanoid, which you have to be a little bit more precise about.
Yeah.
Then we counter the first ability Rangers get that is complete shit. Natural Explorer. Alright?
Mm-hmm.
Natural Explorer is you're particularly familiar with one type of natural environment and adept at traveling and surviving in that region.
Which is great, I guess, if you know the campaign is going to take place all in one region.
Yeah, but very few campaigns do.
Yeah.
It is horrifyingly bad. You get a fighting style, which you get a few interesting choices. Archery, naturally, because if you're playing a ranger, archery is a great choice. Blind fighting is not great because it's only a 10-foot range. And it doesn't really give you much in return for that. Defense is okay, especially if you want to increase some AC. Druid Warrior is kind of crap. If you're going to play that, might as well just play a combat druid.
Go for it. I was making
Because all it really gives you is some cantrips from the druid and a few select spells from druid.
Yeah.
figured this was fair.
Not great.
Peed.
Really, Damien?
Are you kidding me?
Dog.
We just took him outside. I mean, damn.
The third time he's peed.
Yeah, dueling is pretty cool. It works with a shield. And that 2 damage gap that you get between longsword and a 2-handed weapon on average.
You're whining the wine
So
right now.
there's that.
Rose, go
There's
to bed.
2. There's thrown weapon fighting, which can make thrown weapons really useful. And it's kind of neat. Let me describe what it does exactly. You draw a weapon that has the thrown property as part of your attack if you make it with the weapon. In addition, when you hit with a ranged attack as a thrown weapon, you get +2 on the damage roll. Thanks for the alert, Crazy Shadow.
Not too shabby.
Yeah, it makes thrown weapons a little bit more useful.
I'd agree, yeah.
Yeah. 2-weapon fighting, once again, not bad. You just don't get to add your ability modifier at all to your offhand attack without the fighting style.
Right.
Which, it hurts when you do that, but if you take the fighting style, it makes it more useful. Spellcasting in Rangers in 5e did get a buff, so that is useful. But Rangers are not particularly spellcasters.
No.
So,
Never have been. I mean, you get a little splash of it for utility purposes, but, you know.
then we got the Ranger subclasses, alright? So these are your specialties. The Beastmaster was originally the best one from the PHB, and then it got an improvement in Tasha's. And it became hella good.
Yeah, just from action economy
Yeah,
perspective, really.
yeah. Because Tasha's gives you Primal Companion, Exceptional Training, Bestial Fury, and Shared Spells, which is just amazing.
It's due Thursday.
And you get 3 choices of what kind of beast you get, so you're not stuck to one particular animal. You get a Beast of the Land, Beast of the Sea, or Beast of the Sky.
Okay.
Beast of the Land is simple, iconic. It has 40-foot land speed. It can climb. Okay, I'm sorry. Fucking A.
No, you don't get somebody else's food.
The damage will match or exceed a weapon that you usually carry. Charge allows the companion to knock down foes if they get a running start. Unfortunately, since your beast only gets one attack until you get Bestial Fury at 11, you can't really capitalize on it much, but it's still useful.
Right.
I would use the Beast of the Land in situations where you had another melee character, and the beast knocks them down, and the other melee character just comes run up and beats the shit out of them.
Makes sense to me, yeah.
Yeah. Beast of the Sea is useless unless you're in an aquatic game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that they include at least a few token options that are aquatic, but realistically, most of them aren't going to get used most of the time.
Yeah. Beast of the Sky, though, is where it's at. You have a 60-foot fly speed, and you get flyby attack. You do get less hit points than the other two options, but you're almost never going to be in melee.
Yep.
So, that's not terrible. The damage is also slightly lower on average. Beast of the Land does 6.5. Beast of the Sea is about roughly the same in water. Beast of the Sky is 5.5 on average. But for 5.5, you get a bestial companion that's almost never going to get hit.
Yeah.
Which is really helpful. Exceptional training is... it's better to attack twice than have your companion attack, which is true. Exceptional training... Oh, no. Make your... Let me make sure I'm reading this correctly, because sometimes I forgot I read the wrong one. I need Beastmaster from Tasha's. There's Swarmkeeper from Tasha's. It says player handbook, but there's a freaking variant. God damn, you're getting quite a few over there. Exceptional training. Make your companion attacks magical is the only thing that you actually benefit from here, but it's crucial. Hey, I'm going live, so I got you tabbed up. Stay sexy. Thanks, Max Dadbod. Might want to write down Max Dadbod so that way I know he's been here. Alright, there we go. Fuck, is that Lineage 2? No, it's Final Fantasy 14. Yeah, Max Dadbod, this is Final Fantasy 14.
What is that snapping noise?
That is the electric racket killing flies.
Huh. Yikes.
Yeah. We had a fruit fly issue recently.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it also doesn't help that we, like, our backyard neighbor are cows.
Yeah.
So flies everywhere. Yeah, it kind of looks like Lineage 2 because this is Endwalker, so there's a little bit more better tech and stuff. The graphics definitely has increased a lot better. So it looks neat. Red wine vinegar, apple slices, and a cup plus cellophane. I think we have that, don't we?
I did apple cider vinegar, a banana peel, and a ball lid that I punched a couple holes in the top of.
Yeah. Thank you, Squid, for the work. That'll work, he says. So exceptional training makes your animal companion attacks magical.
I need to replace the...
It has gotten old. Okay. Which helps, because that means you don't have to deal with damage resistance as much.
Yep.
Bestial Fury comes at 11. Your beast gets 2 attacks, and still only costs you a bonus action to command them. Damn helpful. And then share spells. I'm late. I'll catch you around. No problem, man. Share spells is also great because if you put any buff spells on you, you get to put on your animal companion.
Very handy.
Yeah, very handy. So there is that. The next one down is Drake Warden, which essentially means You get Thaumaturgy, which is meh, flavorful, neat, but not terrible. Tongue of the Dragons. If you're the face, it lets you speak Draconic. But you're a ranger. You're usually not the face.
Generally, no.
Drake, you get a Drake companion. So instead of a animal companion like land, sea, or air, you get a Drake, which has an AC of 16, a crap ton of hit points, and it's ready to go.
Why's your door open?
And also, Drakes you can mount like a horse.
Nice.
And they get scaling hit points based on this. Squidgy, this sounds familiar. Yes, we had this in our Traviel game. They get scaling hit points. Unlike most of the other mounts in the game, including the Paladin mount, does not get scaling hit points.
That seems really unfair, but yeah.
Yeah, it hurts. They get Magic Fang, which means it's not makes their attack magical. It just adds a d6 of damage to their attacks.
Once upon a time,
Nice.
I don't know why it's called Magical Fang, but it is.
that fell to pestilence and rotted inside and out.
And then they get Resistance.
The more its people
Let's see. Persistent damage resistance to you. Since you can resummon your Drake at the cost of a spell, you can change the damage type whenever necessary.
Nice.
So essentially, you could be like, "Oh, we're fighting a fire dragon." Well, shit, I'm gonna make sure my Drake has fire resistance then.
Yeah.
They do get a breath weapon. It's not potent. Thank you. It's not as potent as a dragon's breath weapon, but it's still a good free AoE. If you want that. So there is that. Then they get Perfect Bond at 15th level. They get another d6 added to their damage, bringing the total up for their bites to 3d6 plus 5. But hey, that's, a decent amount of damage for a bonus action. The Drake then becomes large. So that's fun.
Yeah, large has interesting implications in 5e, as it does in many Dungeons and Dragons iterations.
And then they have reflexive resistance. This is great for you if you or your dragon take a big hit from a single source of damage, like a spell or a critical hit. It does have limited uses, but it basically means you get to randomly select so many times per day a resistance to X type of damage. Which can be helpful. I mean, that's cutting that damage in half. Kids. Oh, why am I not shocked?
It's not the four-legged child or the 7-year-old throwing a shit fit, it's the 4-year-old.
Which is fair. There's Fey Wanderer, which is... it's not an easy class to play, but it is still good. And it's the closest thing we'll get to a face ranger. Because they get a lot of social abilities. Which is really helpful.
Sure, yeah.
So that is the big thing. And you get like a lot of Fey abilities. Love you.
Huh?
You can't kill them. I know you want to. I love you.
All it takes is a very long needle and I can make replacements.
Uh-huh.
I don't even have to suffer the needle. You do.
I know. Gloomstalker is the next one we're going to talk about. This is...
Welcome, traveler.
Thank you, Andy Uchiha too. Welcome to the tavern. grab yourself a mug of ale, pull up a chair, have fun, and don't fireball my tavern. Gloomstalker is pretty much like almost like an assassin ranger, I've noticed. I'm not sure if you noticed that too.
I mean that was my 5-second impression of it. I haven't really gotten in depth on it.
Okay.
Down and not murder everything.
Okay, love you.
The door's gonna be shut. The dog can come out.
Yeah, I know.
I also have laundry baskets blocking over by the door where all the shoes are.
Yep. All right.
It's your responsibility.
God damn it. Okay. Bloody hell. Horizon Walker is kind of similar to Gloomstalker, not as stealthy, but they have other things for them. They're more about travel distances and messing with things like that. And they get their own unique spells.
Neat.
And all of them are pretty good. The only one I would say is that it is not particularly the best is the 13th level spell to get. But aside from that, but it's not terrible. I wouldn't call it a bad spell. It's just more of a, well, it's difficult to use this one.
Fair enough.
Hey, buddy, I know you're not happy. Oh, I'm gonna get hit with something. Oh, maybe not. That's surprising. But that's mainly thing. They also get Detect Portal, which is neat. They can ethereally step around, which is kind of also cool. So they get some cool stuff. Like, it's hard to say no to it.
Yeah.
The next one down the list is Hunter. And, oh boy, Hunter is all about doing as much damage as you can with your bow. But if I'm going to be brutally honest with this, I would honestly, if I was thinking about playing a Hunter, I'd just play a fighter. They don't really get anything that fighter can't do better.
Fair enough.
Like, at least from what I read. You alright?
Yeah, just needed Ziploc bag use.
Alright.
Put out pieces.
Okay, fair enough. Monster Slayer is a more simpler version of the Hunter. It does have some advantages, though. It's better at killing bigger beasties than Hunter is. But it doesn't have quite the damage output that Hunter does.
Okay.
So, like, if you're going against just large beasts all the time, it's a great choice. But other than that, I wouldn't worry about it too much.
Okay.
Swarm Keeper is entertaining. Do you like bugs? Because that's your shtick. You're gonna be popping out more insect swarms than anybody else ever could.
Nice.
Like, even the druid is gonna be slightly envious. So it is a neat gimmick, but would I call it a good class? It's okay. It's got advantages, it has disadvantages. Swarms definitely give you some interesting shtick in 5e because of the way the rules work for attacking them. But other than that, it's not terrible.
Fair enough.
Though you get to give them enhanced damage and movement options at, was it 11th level. Their damage goes from a d6 to a d8. They can move the target, and they can move themselves. And if they move themselves, they get +2 AC.
Interesting.
So it is an interesting subclass. And that's the subclasses. You get something called Primeval Awareness. It is super costly. It is super dumb. It doesn't really give you anything.
Not worth the investment.
Yeah, well, it's pretty much what it tries to make you use. It's just not worth it. You get extra attack. Extra attack's always useful. Land stride, once again, difficult terrain can be annoying, but I mean, there are other ways to get around it that don't require a full-on class ability. So, there's that. They do get something new, though, in 5e that was kind of neat. Hide in plain sight.
Always a good ability.
But they cannot move while using it. They have to stay still. They also get Vanish. Useful, helpful, good for sniping, so on and so forth. They get Feral Sense, which allows them to detect invisible creatures, which is damn helpful.
Okay.
And then the last one is Foe Slayer. But it's a +5 to your attack rolls, where while that doesn't seem like it's a big deal, in 5e that can be a huge deal. Because the numbers just don't get that high. So there is that. If your DM lets you use Tasha's for your ranger, do that. It makes your class so much better. There are some options there. Let's talk about ability scores, because ability scores are important. All right.
Yeah, with Rangers, kind of depends, especially if you're talking Pathfinder Rangers, it's even more complicated just because they have many more build varieties, but...
Yeah. There's no stat in Pathfinder that stands out as the, you must have this stat.
Right, you can build a strength-based ranger just as easily as a dex-based ranger, though you're probably going to want at least one of the two.
Yeah. Well, dex or strength. In 5e, it's dex. Because some of the melee weapons are dex-oriented.
Yes, you've got... you don't have to pay a feat tax to unlock dex-capable melee weapons.
Yeah.
And that's a good innovation that I like in 5th edition.
Yeah, which helps. I agree, that helps a lot. Then the next one is whether you pick dex or con. Dex or strength, you pick con next.
Yeah, you're going to be someone who's going to draw a lot of attention to yourself. You might not be a front-line fighter, but people still are going to try to hit you because you're firing arrows in their face.
Yeah, and they're like, stop the arrow fire. Wisdom is then the next one I'd recommend, because spells. Ranger uses wisdom for spells. It is what you want to go for. And there is that. In 5e, dump strength. In 5e, dump charisma. Simple enough as is. In my opinion, strength, dex, and con are about on par for what you should have. But honestly, strength and dex are more important than con. Con is a good second, like I said earlier. Intelligence. Don't overly worry about intelligence, but at least have a decent number in intelligence.
Yeah, you don't want a penalty there.
Because you want skill points.
Yeah.
At least in Pathfinder. In 5e, there's really not much you get from intelligence. Other than a few, skills that rely on intelligence. Oh, shit, I hit the wrong button. So there is that. let's talk about races. Now, what races do you think make good rangers?
I mean, first thing you always consider for your race class combos is which races give you the pluses to the ability scores you're going to need.
Yeah.
And then second thing, you look for things that you can't easily get out of your class that are useful. And of course, we've talked many times, if something gives you a fly speed, that's usually going to be a good choice.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's always
you know,
a great choice, especially for a ranged character.
yes, and that's the other nice thing with Rangers, particularly because you fly up, you use your bow, then they can't get to melee you. It's a match made in heaven.
Yeah, it really helps. So there is that.
There were none.
Other than that, I really don't want to state that there are any races that stand out as rangers, at least in 5th ed, because
Right.
they're doing away with, the racial stuff,
Yep.
which is both good and bad.
I mean, you're still probably going to have races with a fly speed, and
Yeah.
that's going to be good.
Well, so far in 1D&D, there is no flying
When
race
none remember
right now.
life's trials, or its
yeah.
joys.
So there is that.
And if they go the route of saying, oh, by the way, we realize flying races are clearly better than everybody else, then I will take that as them wising up a little bit.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that's terrible, but I would say, honestly, incorporate the Aarakocra, just don't allow them to fly.
Give them a glide speed or something, and
Yeah.
then let it evolve into a fly later on or something like that.
Yeah. Usually I try to, racial flies I don't give until, level 12. It's just... It makes it easier.
Yeah, I mean, I guess wizards can unlock the fly spell at level 5,
But that's...
so
But it still eats up a spell slot.
it does eat up a spell slot. So I might go earlier than 12, but maybe 8 or 9.
Yeah. Yeah, I could agree with that. I'm trying to think of any races that stand out to me in 5, because I don't see many rangers, so that's why I'm trying to rack my brain here.
They spent so long being subpar that just not a lot of people have developed the meta for them.
Yeah. Well, not just that, but also nobody wants to play them. I noticed. In the
Well,
groups around here, I've never seen anybody play a ranger.
That's because they sucked for a long time. Why
Yeah,
would you?
they were very garbage. They were poo-poo.
But now that they've kind of fixed that, maybe we'll see more people actually taking it on.
Hopefully. It'd be nice. So there's that, but let's talk about Pathfinder races, because those are a little bit more potent. Dwarf is actually not a bad choice.
Yeah, you don't need the charisma. Constitution's useful.
And so is the wisdom bonus.
Yeah.
The favorite class bonus, though, is not that great.
I mean, yeah, honestly, a lot of favorite class bonuses are so weirdly specific that I usually just default to the +1 skill point or +1 hit point thing.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Second ed rangers were very popular. Oh yeah, they were potent in second ed. Hey buddy, hey, how you doing? You got to calm down, bud. Doggy's whining.
Yeah.
Elf is not a bad choice either. Intelligence and dexterity are both good choices. The penalty to con kind of hurts a little.
Yeah, but, I mean, if you're going to make, a bow ranger, there's nothing more iconic than to go all Legolas about it.
Oh yeah, that's true. Gnomes are horrible as rangers in Pathfinder. They don't get anything that helps them.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment.
Half elf is really good. Because once again, you get a lot of good multi-classing abilities out of it. If you want to multi-class a ranger, and that's not a terrible choice. Because you could do some kooky things with a multi-classed ranger.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in Pathfinder. My personal favorite is Arcane Archer.
So they created the kindest,
Yeah.
most gentle beast.
Because, goddamn, are you going to basically make someone's day a very bad one. So there's that. Half-orc is okay. I don't think they're terrible. It's just, they don't really have anything that stands out to me. You know what I mean?
Its spells
Right.
were light,
So there's that.
and its gift was as
Halfling makes an interesting ranger.
Yeah, bonus to dexterity.
Yeah.
And the small size is pretty useful.
I mean, yeah, you're gonna do a little less damage with your bow, but hey, it's not the end of the world. Human is always great. Human's a gold standard for a reason. They're everywhere.
bathed in its golden glow.
Well, let's talk about traits, because there's one trait I want to point out for rangers that are really good.
Okay. Which one?
Magical Knack.
Hmm.
Do you ever use that one?
No, generally.
Alright. So it gives you +2 caster level as long as that caster level does not exceed your 8 hit dice.
Yep.
And with Ranger already losing some caster levels compared to its class, that actually helps a bit.
It does compensate a little bit for the half caster thing.
Yeah. It's great for paladins. It's great for rangers. I mean, I have a hard time just saying no to that, but it's like...
Yeah, I remember the old practice spellcaster feat from 3.5.
Yeah.
That was +4 caster levels not to exceed your hit dice, and it was fantastic for anybody who was like splitting their class levels between a caster and a non-caster class. Practically essential, I would say.
Yeah,
But-
especially for rangers and paladins.
But yeah, rangers and paladins having that intrinsic halving of their caster level, that's not a bad thing to have.
Oh, yeah. It's good. I love it. Let's talk about skills. Because, oh boy, skills.
Yeah,
Alright.
Rangers are they the most skillful martial class?
I believe so. They're close with monk. Them and monks are both skillful.
Yes.
Alright, so let's talk about 5e. Animal handling, worthless. Even with Beastmaster, your subclass does everything for you. You don't need to have animal handling.
Yeah.
Which is weird. Athletics is okay. It's not great. Insight's really useful. You could be the party's lie detector.
You could, yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Investigation, useful, but they're not going to be great at it. What else is there? Nature is your only knowledge skill. It's a good skill to have, but intelligence is a hard thing for rangers.
Yeah.
You're going to have a hard time with rangers. Perception, always take. Like, I don't know why anybody wouldn't take it.
Rangers are the people who are supposed to be perceiving things, and it's one of the most rolled skills in the game. So it's the
Yeah.
most rolled skill in the game. So
Pretty much.
yeah, take it. Yeah, your knowledge, nature, your stealth, your perception, that's the core of what a ranger means to me.
Yeah. And stealth is the next one, and it's like, they don't need to be stealthy, but by God, does it help.
Yeah, I honestly don't know why you wouldn't take stealth.
Yeah. Survival is a
Yeah.
situational skill, but if anybody's going to take it, Ranger's probably your best choice.
Yeah, survival, I mean, the only way I wouldn't necessarily take survival is if you're running like an urban ranger variant. in which case a lot of the things survival does aren't as useful.
Yeah.
But even then, you could stand to take it.
Oh, yeah. Hey, puppy. Puppy's being whiny. I'm going to put him in my lap. Hey, buddy. Hopefully that calms you down some. For backgrounds real quick on 5e, because Pathfinder doesn't have backgrounds. Honestly, criminal, urban bounty hunter, and urchin are all really good if you're going to be in a city. If you're going to be out in the wilderness, Far Traveler is probably going to be your best bet. Because it gives you insight and perception. So you don't have to choose those. You can put your skill points into something else. Or your proficiency selections. Which helps. And you can get an instrument or gaming set. So, it's kind of neat. Not terrible. For Pathfinder, skills. Climb is so situational.
Yeah. At low levels, maybe, but then you're going to find lots of ways around it.
Oh, yeah. Handle animal in Pathfinder. Actually really useful.
It can be, yeah, because you can teach them tricks.
Yep, you can teach your animal new tricks. Heal is not a bad choice. You're going to have a high wisdom, or moderate wisdom anyway. So you can supplement the healers with it. Intimidate, you're not a face. Don't take a social skill. You get 3 knowledges: Dungeoneering, Geography, and Nature. Dungeoneering is really awesome. Nature is really awesome. Geography, meh.
Yeah, I'm actually in a Pathfinder game right now that someone started, and he's using the optional background skills rule, which basically gives you 2 free skill points to spend on the lesser used skills of your choice. And like knowledge geography is a good example of this. Has no combat applicability, so if you want it for your character's background, great. Here's a free skill point you can put in it.
Yeah. Perception, once again, we talked about this in the 5e one. Most rolled skill in the game. Ride. If you're going to be a mounted combat ranger, useful. If you're not, don't get it.
Yeah, ride. I don't know a lot of people who do the ride thing that aren't going like full paladin knight. It's like maybe get a rank or 2 just so you don't fall off of your horse, and you're good.
Oh yeah, because that would be kind of cool. Spellcraft is situational. At least for a ranger.
Yeah, you're not going to be worried about like counter spells and identifying, castings and things like that. So,
stealth, once again, an essential skill, damn useful, highly recommend it. Survival, once again, it's not terrible, it's not great. I wouldn't recommend it. It's situational. You get a class bonus to track things with it.
Yeah.
So that's helpful. And swim is only useful if you plan on being in an aquatic game. Otherwise, don't worry about it.
Yeah, it'll be okay. Don't really need to worry about the swimming.
Yep. So there is that. Now let's talk about feats. Because good God, feats. With Ranger, archery feats are always good if you're going Archer. There are a few feats focused on your animal companion for both 5e and Pathfinder.
Yeah.
Those may not be a bad choice depending on what kind of a build you're going for.
So, yeah, let's. I guess this is as good an opportunity as any to kind of talk about it. People play Rangers, I find, in 2 ways. Either you're playing the fighter/druid, which is kind of how the Ranger has evolved with its abilities with like an animal companion and some little bit of druid type spell casting, or you're playing just like the stalker manhunter type, and you don't give a damn about the animal companion and you don't give a damn about the spells. And I'm really glad that both 5e and Pathfinder kind of let you flavor towards those and give up some abilities that realistically you're not going to use to get ones that you will.
Yeah.
And whichever path you take, that's going to influence greatly what you want to do as far as like feats.
Yeah, it's the same problem Fighter has. Depending on where you're going with it and what you're doing with it, that's where you need to take things. And that is a problem. And also a boon. Like, it can make it difficult for newer players to go, oh, what should I do? Like, what's the thing we should be doing? And I'm like, there's no direct answer for you there, pal. It sucks, but that is the way the cookie crumbles in that case. Now, with that being said, there are ranger archetypes in Pathfinder. Since I could find my list, I gotta find it. Just give me a second. There's combat style, breakdown, abilities. Where is the damn archetypes? I love it when it doesn't let me see the archetypes list. It's like, guys. Alright, so let me go back to the top. Where are you? Where are you? Top. There it is. Base classes. Oh. Alright, let's go down to Ranger and select Ranger Archetypes Breakdown. Thank you. That's what I used for the list. So at least I don't miss any. Battle Scout. You remember favorite terrain?
Yeah.
Remember how useless that was?
Yeah.
Do you want an archetype that focuses almost solely on that?
Not really.
Yeah, because that's what the fuck Battle Scout is. Then there's Beastmaster, which is, in Pathfinder, not actually all that good.
Yeah, not so much.
It's sad. I was kind of hoping for more, because it is a cool concept. But sadly, the execution just did not work.
Well, and the problem with those kinds of characters is, even when played well by a character who knows the rules, you've essentially just introduced another player character, and it can affect play speed, like combat slowdown, because you've got another thing to keep track of. So yeah, there's a well-documented bias that supposedly GMs hate pets, and there's some truth to that, because yeah, it's basically just an extra player character. I think it's more effective in 5e just because they've decided to embrace it, whereas Pathfinder's like, yeah, okay, we'll provide some support for doing this.
Yeah, we're not going to do a heavy amount of focus on it. Deep Walker is cool if you're going to be in an underground game or the Underdark.
Yeah.
Highly recommend that. Divine Tracker. Oh boy. There's going to be a class we're going to cover later when we get into Pathfinder only classes, and that's called War Priest. Divine Tracker does War Priest, essentially, for Rangers. Oh, sorry, Emo Girl, thank you for the lurk, and the check-in, I appreciate that. So Divine Tracker is kind of neat. You can do some kooky things with it. Falconer is okay. I mean, you're focusing on a bird, and in Pathfinder, the birds aren't that great.
I mean, great for scouting, but yeah, other than that, not so much.
Yeah, they're kind of like meh. Guide is kind of neat. So Ranger Focus is a little bit more versatile than Favorite Enemy, and you can apply it to anything you fight, which is really neat. So you give up Favorite Enemy for Ranger's Focus, which honestly may actually work out better. There's terrain bond, which is once again like favorite terrain, kind of poop.
Yeah.
The ability to get free rerolls with Ranger's luck. That's nice.
Yeah. We love rerolls.
Inspired movement. You get a little extra movement in your turn. Can be helpful. And then later on, you get improved Ranger's luck, which is not only do you get a reroll, you get a +4 on the reroll.
Very, very nice.
Yeah, that is a giant bonus there. Like, if anything, like, if I didn't have a particular character concept in mind for my Ranger, this would be the archetype I'd pick.
Right on.
It has a lot going for it that make it really good. Then there's Hooded Champion. It's kind of like someone tried to combine a Ranger with a Swashbuckler. And it didn't work out well.
I mean, the concept sounds great. I love that idea.
Oh yeah, no, the concept sounds amazing. But unfortunately, the implementation could be better.
Yeah.
It is what it is, and it sucks that that happened because that was a cool concept, and I was hoping it would do well, but sad that it doesn't. So we'll cover it. Horse Lord. You remember that whole mounted combat style shit?
Yeah.
This is what that class is. It's mounted combat, the Ranger. Which is neat. Not terrible, but not neat. Then we're going to get into a complicated one. And this is the Ranger I want to play one day. Have you ever heard of the Infiltrator?
Rings a bell, but not recalling specifics.
So, you give up favored terrain. You lose it. Which we all hated anyway, so what do we get in return? Something called adaptation. Depending on the favored enemies you pick, you get free feats temporarily.
Okay.
So, like, for example, let's go with aberrations, okay? Aberrations, you get amphibious, dark vision 60 feet, iron will, and a +2 natural armor.
Nice.
Yeah. Now,
Just solid.
mind you, the sooner you pick the favorite enemy, the more of these abilities you get. You don't get them all at once. So you have to choose which ones you get when you activate it. But if it's your first favorite enemy, by the time you hit high level, you will have all 4 abilities in your first favorite enemy's selection. So if you pick the right one, you can be devastating.
Yeah.
And you still get favored enemy. So, like, all the bonuses from that. So, it's like, damn, favorite enemy has now got a twofer.
Yep.
My personal favorite, I would have to say... Hi, hon. As much as people don't like it, the Vermin one is not terrible. I think Magical Beast is my favorite.
Okay.
Not as a first choice, though, but a later choice. And there's a reason why. You get Dark Vision 60 feet, Great Fortitude, Low Light Vision, and a +2 natural armor. So, like, if you get 1 or 2 of those, that could be really helpful. Like, that is really neat. The aquatic humanoid is also pretty cool. You get low light vision, natural armor, dark vision, and a swim speed of 15 feet.
Yep, that sounds pretty solid.
I mean, there's a couple in there that are really good. Shapeshifter. Once again, I really wished this was better implemented because it's a cool idea, but just was poorly done. because you only get a few form selections, and they are not stellar. Especially when other classes can do it better. Skirmisher is kind of cool. I like it because there are some people who are just not good with magic.
Yeah.
And Skirmisher, in my opinion, is the solution to that. You lose magic, but in return, you get some really, really good tricks that you get to select. Like defensive bow stance, you can make it so that if you use a bow in melee, you don't draw an attack of opportunity.
Yes. That is a fantastic ability to pick up.
Yeah, and it's like, and it also counts as point blank master while it's active, which is damn helpful. So like, Jesus, it's like I saw that and was like must grab. Other ones, rattling strike, which automatically makes the foe shaken if you hit them. No save.
Yeah.
Damn. Sick 'em. You can trade your swift action for a free attack from your animal companion.
Good trade, usually.
Yeah, that one free, swift action you get, you're just like, fuck it, let's add a little bit more damage. Damn helpful. Skill Sage, you get to roll twice and take the better result on any skill.
Very nice.
Tangling attack, once again, they're entangled, no save. But they can break out of it with a strength check.
Yep.
So, makes sense. Vengeance Strike. You get a free attack as an immediate action, and this attack does not count as an attack of opportunity.
Very cool.
So that is really neat. It's like, if I ever get to play a ranger, like if Squidgy runs his Rise of the Rune Lords game, and I end up playing the ranger character I have in mind, I'm going Infiltrator. I'm going to give this this archetype a go.
Okay.
It seems neat. Then there's Spirit Ranger and Trapper. Spirit Ranger is not good. You're giving up an animal companion to be able to cast essentially augury and some later divination spells. And you're not going to be good at them.
Not going to make that trade.
Yeah, I don't like that trade either. You lose Hunter's Bond and you also lose Camouflage. So you lose some stealth and your animal companion for 2 spells.
Yeah.
And they're not even like ones you're going to be good at. It's like, nah. Trapper is an interesting concept, but once again, not executed well. You have to be able to use your traps well. And it's very rare that you get to do that. Trophy Hunter. You get a gun.
Yeah.
You don't get just a bow anymore. You have a fucking rifle now. God damn. So I would be really tempted to do this. The improved tracking ability is kind of meh. But my god, the ability to use firearms is just amazing. Because within the first range increment, there are touch attacks, and they tend to have a higher damage output than the bows. And then on top of that, their critical is ×4.
Yeah. Firearms and Pathfinder, they tried to do a job at balancing them, But it's more of a you tried.
You have made an attempt.
An attempt was made.
Now, the advantage of them is you can get away with firearms in a game because they tend to only get one attack and one hit. So that hit's gotta do some damage. Oh, we're gonna get hit. Oh, maybe not. Oh, that was close. But you also get Hunter aims. It doesn't take, most combats don't take in a distance far enough to make that matter. Understandable, but it's still useful because it lets you, you know, get those wonderful, better accuracy and damage abilities, which helps. Urban Ranger. Unless you're dealing with a game that is solidly in a city, I wouldn't take this. It doesn't get the trades. Puppy. I mean, if you're playing a strictly in-city game, yeah, this is not a terrible idea.
I would agree.
I ran right into that. Okay, here we go. Oh, you're gonna slam down right on me. That's nice. Then there's the Warden. Warden is basically very similar to a battle scout. With the once again the favored terrain love, and they have mastery of terrain, so you get more favored terrains. Whoa. that really helps. I mean, oh god, I just didn't know what to do with not enough favored terrain. I'm sorry, was that sarcastic enough?
I think so.
Okay. There's Wild Hunter. Wild Hunter is pretty cool. It gives up, oh damn, I died. It gives up, favored enemy, which is kind of weird. I don't like it. There we go. But in return, your animal gets some abilities, which can be cool. You get Animal Focus, which is a buff ability, very versatile options that scale with your level.
Yeah.
Definitely helpful. Shared Focus, once again, buffing your animal companion is fantastic. That's what this ability does, and it does it in fucking spades. Wild Stalker is basically a Barbarian Ranger mix. It can be interesting if you want to play a melee ranger. But it's not going to be great if you want to play a ranged ranger.
Yeah.
Other than that, yeah, that's all the archetypes for ranger. Hi, Trickster, Loki, and Andy Uchiha. Welcome back. Xeno Peak. He's peeking. So there is that. Other factors with Ranger that you may want to consider. If you're a Archer Ranger, upgrading your bow is always helpful. Me and the wife designed a bow that was really super useful. So some people may be tempted for Brilliant Energy. I recommend not. While the ability to go through armor is nice, the other builds you can do is better. What we did with her bow was we gave her all of the elemental damages in the level 1 version. So flaming, shock, icy, and corrosive. So all 4 of those, and then speed,
Yeah.
because more arrows is better if you're using a bow.
I would say that that is a fairly uncontroversial statement.
Yep. Oh, my foot fell asleep. I hate it when that happens. Doesn't help with the puppy on my lap. That's the problem. So, other than that, do you have any gear you would recommend to a ranger while I'm thinking on it?
I mean, Ranger's a good one for things like, boots of striding and springing, because you're going to want that mobility to get in a position. It's a good one for like just a ring of invisibility. Generally speaking, a Ranger has a good dex save, but is still susceptible to things like fireballs. So if you can get your hands on a ring of evasion, that can go a long way for a Ranger.
Yeah.
Let me think.
Here.
Obviously, you're going to look for items that increase your dexterity or strength if you're playing that kind of Ranger, or both if you have the money to spare. Let me think if there's anything else that's particularly good.
One
Don't-
recommendation I'm seeing
Go
on
ahead.
here is the boots of friendly terrain.
Okay.
I could see that if you want to deal with the favorite terrain at all.
Yeah. I would also say that don't forget that you've got a spell list, especially in Pathfinder. So you can use things like, wands of certain cleric druid spells. And so you can be a fairly durable platform for a little bit of healing or something.
Yeah, that's true.
And wands of first level spells are pretty cheap. Yes, it's not going to be like game breaking, but it can be handy.
Yeah, it at least will provide assistance. Yes, Andy Uchiha, I am playing Final Fantasy XIV in the background while we discuss D&D and Pathfinder because it's entertaining to watch. I can't see the damn dragon. I hate this part of the fight because you can't see the fucking dragon.
Damn you, dragon!
Of course, it's on the other side. That's alright. Yeah. Now, other standard items that I would recommend for Rangers, of course, like, for example, the Cloak of Resistance is always a great choice to grab.
Yep.
+5 to all saves is amazing. Pearl of Power is not a bad choice if you want to utilize your spells.
Yeah. The only thing is that a Pearl of Power is probably going to be more powerful in the hands of your party druid or cleric, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's not a bad pick, and it's slotless, so, go nuts.
Yeah. Same with the Ioun Stones.
Oh, yeah.
Ioun Stones can be amazingly done if you know how to use them. But they can also be costly.
Yep.
And that is a problem. Let's see, what else would I recommend? Oh, he's frozen. Oh, of course he dies immediately. We barely pulled that off. Meta Magic Rods aren't a bad choice either, but once again, they'll be more potent in the hands of your spellcasters.
Sure. Yeah, a little bit of like silent or still spell rods could be good, or something to extend your duration.
Thank
You,
you.
you
Not sure for the Smurf check-in.
you are fighting against your half level thing, so boosting your duration can be very very helpful.
Oh yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention feats for 5e. Jeez. Separately, I'm gonna hit up some 76 and chill while I lurk. Okay. Not a problem, man. Uh, Crossbow expert's kind of cool for rangers because you can two-weapon fight with crossbows.
Yeah, there you go.
So if you ever wanted to be that like dual pistol wielding, you know, badass in D&D, well, that's how you do it. Um, Dual Wielder's okay. Dungeon Delver's pretty good. Eldritch Adept is not bad. Gift of the Chromatic or Metallic Dragons aren't bad choices. Lucky's great for everybody.
Yep.
Piercer fits into your build fairly easily because you're going to be using a lot of piercing weapons. And Sentinel is great for Beastmaster Rangers because that could be painful. Sharpshooter's good. I recommend that for any kind of range user.
Yes, sharpshooter.
Yeah. And for weapons, longbow if you're an archer, rapier if you're a melee. Unless you're doing two-weapon fighting, and in which case you could do crossbows or short swords. Now, with 5e definitely encourages people to multi-class, I've noticed a lot more. So with Ranger, if you're going to multi-class, Cleric's a good choice, Fighter's a good choice. Monk is not a bad choice, but it's not great. Same thing with Rogue. They give you some options there. Now, with Ranger, we did go over a lot of what the class can do, what the class is about, things of that nature. But there's one thing we need to talk about with Ranger that is possibly the most important when it comes to Ranger. And that is tactics.
Yeah, and this is going to depend on what kind of ranger you build.
Well, it's not just Ranger you build, but also your group dynamic.
Sure.
What everybody else is playing. If I was going to say anything about the Ranger, it is the class that is the most dependent on what everyone else is playing. To tell how effective you're going to be.
Okay. I don't know that I disagree. I hadn't really thought about it that way, but that would make a little bit of sense.
Well, because they're the most tactically minded class in the game. You have to keep in mind where you are, who you're shooting, what effects you're using in the terrain. You have to pick what favored enemy you want, and keep that in mind for the campaign. You got a lot of plates to juggle and spin.
Yeah, there are a lot of knobs you can turn for the ranger.
Yeah, and so that's very heavily dependent on what the rest of your group is doing, how they're building their characters, what they're doing with their characters. It requires a lot of attention to what is going on. And so that is something important to keep in mind. And I feel like it's one of the reasons why a lot of people seem to think that Ranger is garbage more often than not. I mean, even before 5th Ed came out, a lot of people didn't favor Rangers. And I feel it's because they were not easy to play.
I mean, they're a schizophrenic class, if that makes sense, because you've got, okay, I'm going to focus on my animal companion or my spellcasting. Well, no, I'm going to focus on my fighting. Well, which fighting? Am I going to focus on my bow fighting, or am I going to focus on my two-weapon fighting? It's almost like they're 3 related classes mushed into one class.
And you have to juggle it all.
Yeah, so that they tend to play a little weird.
Yeah, like I said, like that's why I say it's dependent on other classes because, like for example, if you have a good fighter in your party, going two weapon fighting may not be the best choice. Like melee.
No. Yeah.
If you have a good rogue in your party, you can assist the rogue, but you're not going to be as good as them at what they do, and it's going to make you, the player, not feel as useful to the party.
Well, I will say this. Because you are going to be decent at stealth, you're dex focused, you have stealth as a class skill, you are going to be able to take hits better than the rogue. So when the rogue goes off to sneak off and do something, chances are you're going to be the chaperone.
Yeah, you're going to be the shepherd. Make sure the rogue doesn't stab everybody. Got it.
Or make sure the rogue doesn't stub his toe and die.
Yeah. Keep the rogue alive. Got it.
And you're going to be good at that because you're just, you've got the skill set to do it.
Yeah, it's wild. And then of course, if we have a ranger, a fighter that's going archery for some reason, and like you're playing a ranger, I don't know why a fighter would do that, but if that happens to happen, then you can always go to weapon fighting.
Yeah.
So someone in chat was like, I have a little thing. It says, thank you for choosing Ruby's tanking service. Let's have fun and enjoy the ride. And then someone replied with, I want to talk to your manager. I'm like, sure, LOL. Let me get my wife. And then someone says, never talk to a summoner's manager. It's always Bahamut. Oh. Oh man, that made me laugh. I have the chat covered up with my camera because, in case someone says something stupid or for privacy reasons.
Sure.
Because if someone says particular phrases in a game chat on Twitch, you can still get banned for that.
Huh.
Yeah, it happened. Someone was playing I forget what game it was. It was a shooter game, though. And someone in the game chat kept repeatedly dropping the N-bomb.
Uh-huh.
And the streamer got banned from Twitch for a week. Oh, yeah. The dog is now licking my arm. He's like, nah, yeah. Am I tasty, buddy? Apparently. See, other fun things you can do with a ranger. Here's something we haven't done, and we still have some time. Combos with other classes.
Okay.
Like, the best way I can describe this is I know you've read and seen a lot of X-Men.
Oh yes.
The fastball special.
Ah yes.
So something along those lines. Like, what are some interesting combos that a ranger could do with other party members?
Well, we kind of alluded to one where you're like the rogue chaperone, where the rogue is very, very stabby, but kind of, glass cannony. You're the person that can make sure his or her hide gets hauled out of the fire if they get into trouble.
Yeah. And a cool thing with that also is you could be the ranged attacker for the rogue while they're stealthing.
Sure.
So, like, you can be, what's the word I'm looking for? Sniping things while the rogue is sneak attacking others.
Yeah.
So very, I would say True Lies almost-ish.
Okay.
Like, you could be, like, the guy in the van to, the secret agent. Not to mention, don't get me wrong, the rogue is going to be probably decent at perception as well. but having 2 people doing perception that have high perceptions, especially
Yes.
on a stealth mission, damn helpful.
It is.
Another one you can do, and you can do this in 5e. You can't do it in Pathfinder, though. Shooting arrows at the monk.
Yeah.
Because the rules as written say that you don't have to throw them back to the person who shot it at you.
Sure.
So, for example, say a target is around a corner and you just can't get them.
Yeah, I knew where your head was going there.
Yeah, you shoot the monk instead, and the monk redirects it into their head.
Hey, buddy, can you pass this along for me?
Hey, it's a telephone game, except with a fucking arrow.
Woohoo! I got my galactic market bid accepted in this
Nice.
Stellaris game.
So that's a cool thing you could do. There's a couple of tricks you can do with the cleric, where like you could pin someone in place and then let the cleric utilize one of their bigger spells that may take longer to cast.
Yeah. Hamper mobility, and then let them do something that is good to set them up, or something that will cut off a big bad guy that you can't handle.
Yeah. Not to mention also, I believe if you pin someone, they don't get a reflex save or a dex save.
It could be.
I'd have to double check that, but if that's the case, there's a great option right there for especially the cleric or the wizard, because you could just pin something down with one of your pinning arrows, for example, if you get pinning arrow, and then basically go, okay, he's pinned, fireball him. It's like, dodge this, you casual bitch. Yeah, it could be definitely fun. The class, though, that could also not... I've not seen work well with a ranger, though, was surprisingly paladin. They don't really have much that goes hand in hand with each other.
I suppose that's fair.
So there is that, and it can be kind of annoying, because you would think that could make an interesting combo, especially with some of their abilities, but it's just like, doesn't seem to work. Ranger and Druid has an interesting combo I thought of.
Okay.
Tricking people into thinking the Druid is your animal companion.
I mean, that seems more like for winning bets than for... I bet my goat here can drink you under the table.
Oh, no, the reason why I say that is, say you're in combat with someone, right?
Sure.
And a lot of people tend to not focus on the animal companion because it doesn't do a lot of damage. Alright?
Right.
So you send the druid in pretending to be your animal companion. Like, you yell at it, it's like, give it a name and say, go attack that. And everybody like, okay, it's just an animal companion. It'll do like 1d6 plus like some other fun shit. And you're like, okay. And then suddenly the druid uses natural spell combined with a, touch attack. And suddenly bad shit's happening to the enemy.
Sure.
Though it will require you to make possibly a bluff check.
Yeah. As a GM, I think I would be very comfortable calling for a bluff check in that circumstance.
Yeah. So there is that. But other than that, it can be kind of neat and kind of fun. I'm trying to think other good fun combos. There's Ranger Barbarian. I don't think anything stands out for that one, though. Ranger Bard can stand out, though. You can do some kooky shit with that.
Yeah.
I think my personal favorite would be like the bard throwing down some illusions.
Sure.
While you like throw down some either traps or hindering terrain, so that way the enemy doesn't see the hindering terrain until they hit it.
Yep.
And the bards are really good at that.
Sneaky, sneaky.
Yep. Clerics, once again, I mean, they're buff machines, so, I mean, shit, man.
They go well with everybody.
They go well with everybody. Fighters also go well with everybody, depending on how they're built. So there is that. You can do some crazy shit with that. Rangered Wizard, I think we already covered. Pretty much do. I don't see Ranger working with Warlock, though.
I mean, they both can do some decent long-range damage. You know, a Bow Ranger and a Warlock Eldritch Blasting, just kind of a 1-2 punch from long range.
Yeah, but I wouldn't call that necessarily a great combo.
I mean, they're just doing the same thing well with two slightly different flavors.
Yeah.
Though the Ranger, I guess, could provide some close cover with spells and abilities to make it hard for the enemies to get to him and the Warlock.
Yeah. I suppose I could see that. Sorcerer, I feel like I treat the same way as the Wizard in this instance. They don't got anything that stands out, but they can do some neat shit.
Yeah, I mean, Wizards are so versatile, they can pretty much do whatever they need to.
Summoner can be fun, though. Especially if they've built their Eidolon to be able to be a mount. Because that's a potent mount. So, like, take essentially combat mounted archery and sit side seat or back seat on the Eidolon.
Yeah.
And shoot arrows while the summoner's, like, doing his thing. I guess we covered the 5e favored enemies. I didn't think I covered the Pathfinder ones, did I?
No, I mean, they're pretty decent. The humanoid, of course, requires you to take a more specific kind of humanoid, but it's still very useful. Because
I'd say dragons are a great choice.
Dragons are a pretty good choice. It depends on your campaign, but generally, if you've got an idea, okay, here's what we're going to be fighting this game, you can find a favorite enemy choice that's pretty worthwhile.
Yeah. Aberrations are a great choice in Pathfinder.
Oh, yes.
Because they're frequent and everywhere. I would definitely recommend that. Like, good gods. Yeah, picking the right favorite enemy does require a little bit of foreknowledge of what the campaign's pulling. And that's something you need to talk to your DM about.
Favorite enemy kicks in first at what, second level?
I think it's first level.
Did you get one at first? I wasn't sure if it was first or second.
Let me double check. I'm looking right now. Yeah, first favorite enemy.
Okay. Then, pick something generally useful, but as you get to your later picks, you'll have a better idea of what the campaign's going to be doing anyway.
Yeah. And if it's a published campaign, while I don't recommend reading ahead, because that's kind of dick, I do at least recommend talking to the DM about what enemies appear in the published campaign the most often. Or at least, obviously.
Or at the very least say, hey, can you tell me what I shouldn't pick that will be completely wasted?
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't want my ability to be completely wasted, but I don't want to... You know what I mean? I don't want to know exactly what's coming.
Yep.
Like, I would say if I was a DM and I was dealing with a ranger in my game, I would probably give them a list of, like, 5 to 7 enemy types that would likely show up.
Yeah. if you pick one from this list, you're not going to be. It's not going to be a useless pick.
Yeah, it'll at least be useful. It just might be, you know, might not be what you think initially, but hey. So, there is that. Alright, I was gonna say, break that damn chain, please, guys. Jesus. Oh. Alright, you enjoying your ice cream? Alright. I was gonna say, you mind keeping an eye on this? Oh, well, I get him off my legs because my legs are falling asleep. You wanna go say hi to Melody over there?
Hello.
The puppy was making my legs fall asleep.
The Emperor has died. Long live the new Emperor.
Yeah. I'll read those. Alright. Oh, my legs. You start getting your combat style at 2nd level in Pathfinder. Got 2 commendations out of that one. Cool. You get commendations, and by the way, 14 whenever you do a good mission and people like you for it. Healers tend to get the most.
Naturally.
Well, I mean, it's because they have to put up with the most bullshit, so it makes sense.
That's what I mean.
You know, let this be a lesson to anyone, right? Well, this is going to be a lesson. There are 2 reasons people pick healers in not just games, but also D&D. Either A, they go, I want to help everyone and make everyone better. Or B, they go, I want to have the power of life and death over my entire fucking party.
Yeah.
So either you got a friendly healer or a healer with a fucking gun, essentially. It's like, oh no, you're low on HP. Beg. It's like, oh, that's where we're going with this. I had one person play a cleric in an online game. And she went full dom on the whole party. It was fucking hilarious to watch.
I think I mentioned to you the time where I was in a game and 2 of the players decided they were going to play like demonesses, like a succubus and an Arianus or something. I was like, all right, I'll be an evil cleric.
And I just sat there and watched everybody die.
I've got rebuke outsiders. So if you guys get out of line, I can put you back into line.
You're going back in it. And then Anne was mentioning a story she did. So, if you want to repeat it, hon.
Yeah.
By kissing their boo-boos and slapping the bitch who made the boo-boo.
We all knew we weren't gonna survive, and it was like, this is not smart, don't do this. Even the DM said, are you sure you want to do this? Because that is an X. And I was like, nope, the healer's not dumb enough. Nope, I'm gonna stay out here. It's like, what, let them go be stupid. Nope, And I literally sat outside the room while they decided to try and bargain with a high-level demon.
Half the party died.
And I
Wow.
was sitting outside the room going,
Only half?
Yeah.
okay, lesson learned.
Well, only half the party went in.
Yeah, the half that was dumb enough, and the 3 of us that still went outside, shot shit back and forth. Like, how many? Am I gonna have to raise them?
6-person party. The people who went in was the rogue, the alchemist, and I'm trying to remember the last.
Fighter.
The fighter. Yep, the rogue, the alchemist, and the fighter. The people who stayed out was the cleric, the wizard, and the bard. Oh boy.
And the bard was like, bard, but I'm not that horny.
Yeah, the bard was like, I'm a horny bard, but I'm not that horny.
Yeah. I'm gonna go back and continue working on the outline of my puzzle.
Alright.
By the way, you continue to help me with fancy.
What did he pee?
In the kitchen, and you cook here.
God damn it, why don't you clean it up now?
Here, yeah.
Fucking A. Ugh. Alright. So, this, by the way, for those who have not played 14, this is the end singer. Her job is to end the world. Joy, eh?
I mean, you know, that sounds like a good gig, but I guess you could only do it once.
No, she's done it multiple times.
Oh, okay.
She does it to different worlds and goes from planet to planet killing everything.
Okay, so she's an itinerant world ender.
Yeah. And, she, oh, there we go. I'm gonna get hit with that. Damn it.
Like Galactus, but a hot bird lady.
Yeah, and she does it through song instead of eating the planet.
I mean, everybody's got to have a hobby.
Yeah, apparently. Well, she did it because originally she left the planet, and the planets she was on. God damn it! I'm getting hit repeatedly by the planets colliding, which is a problem.
My admiral has passed away.
That's unfortunate.
Old age happens.
Yeah. Well,
Now
unless
we
you're a
have-
machine race, then you know.
No, I'm playing my Space Marines.
Oh, trying them out.
Yep.
Yeah, which I need to eventually start getting everything ready for the next time we play Stellaris, and have you know, the YouTube video, which I plan on recording tomorrow, ready for what's the word I'm looking for? Letting people know about the voting and shit.
Okay.
I was trying to think of the word. I was like, I know the word. My brain knows the word. Why can't I say the word?
Brains do be like that.
Damn it. Okay, there's the planet. That's the fast one. Where is it going? It's going over there. So I don't get hit with it for once. Ah! Oh no. She's reversing time.
Back in time.
Again and again.
Alright, do I want to give the mega corporation a commercial pack? It's gonna help them increase their power.
Yes, but it also gives you, like, resources.
It does. It does.
Which is always helpful.
Pretty well resourced, but
Yeah.
yeah.
This is a long trial, too. Alright. Oh boy, there's lots of crazy. Yeah, but she's the this is a spoiler. This thing I'm fighting here is the big bad of 14
Okay.
at this time. Though she is not the final fight.
I see.
Yeah. And she's all about making everybody fall to despair. And if you fall to despair, she turns you into a monstrous creature.
Okay.
Because that's how apparently it works. Oh, please stop expanding. Please stop expanding. I don't want to be in this shit. Oh, God. Night. Yeah. I'm gonna take a hit there. Yeah, oh well.
Go grab that system.
And she was such an innocent little thing when we first ran into her too. She was kind, loving, you know, tries to help people. And then her sisters were all sent out to like deep space to find out if there's life on other planets, and all they found was death.
Huh.
And it caused her to have a friggin' mental break.
I see.
It's like, ouch. Like, when the guy initially told us the plan, I was like, this is a horrible plan. Why are you sending essentially the equivalent of a newborn out into friggin' space? Because she was less than a year old.
Right.
But she was like adult body because she was made.
Sure.
And it was just like, God damn, this was stupid. Alright. Don't want to get knocked off the edge there. I gotta clean up a big ass mess when I'm done streaming because the dog decided to make messes. Hey bud, at work, just want to say hello. Alright, no problem, man. Thank you. Alright, yeah, apparently there's not allowed to be happiness in life either.
There is only one place it may be found.
Oh god. Let me think. What else is there? Try to think.
We can talk about, you know, rangers in fiction. Of course, you've got
Legolas.
you've got Legolas, who's arguably like a bow type ranger. You've got Aragorn, who is, you know, literally a ranger in the lore.
And he was a melee ranger.
Yeah.
Though he can use a bow.
Yes.
They
yes.
did prove he could use a bow.
And by human standards, he's very good at it.
Yeah. By human standards.
Unfortunately, human standards look pretty shit when you're standing next to Legolas.
Yeah, who's like king of the fucking bow elves. Like,
There's also that elf from Hawk the Slayer. I don't know if you've seen that one.
no, I haven't.
It's an old fantasy movie from the early 80s. And when this bow, I forget the character's name, but he's not Hawk. Hawk is the main human character. Anyway,
Right.
when the elf fires his bow, they literally do they delete several frames, so it looks like he's just opening and closing his string hand, and arrows are materializing and firing. So it's like a machine gun.
Oh, god damn.
It's kind of a neat effect, but it's also kind of cheesy. It's cool.
Yeah.
Of course, you've got the classic D&D animated series Ranger, with his brilliant energy bow, or however you choose to implement it.
Yeah. Now we get to watch everybody pray. Hey, buddy. Go ahead, lay down there. You'll be better. Oh, you can see her better now. Yeah, there's that. There's Hawkeye.
Sure, yeah, Hawkeye.
Hawkeye is easily a bow ranger. Green Arrow, of course.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of anybody else. Let's see. I could kind of see Nightwing, I think is his name.
Ooh, interesting.
He either strikes me as one of two things. He's either a ranger or a rogue.
Or a little bit of both.
Yeah.
A little bit of both. I mean, Nightwing in the comics, his primary deal is that he's an acrobat. So, like, in first edition, you'd say thief acrobat. But, I mean, you could just be a ranger with a good acrobatic skill, really.
Yeah. Because he does do a lot of tracking and stuff.
He does, and rangers make good detective types if you're like doing kind of a Batman type. I did a Batman type elf character years and years ago, and I did a mix of ranger and rogue. Yeah, and Nightwing's primary weapons that he uses, other than like fists and feet, would be his tonfa, and he wields one in each hand, so he is a two-weapon fighting type.
Yeah. Definitely that.
So yeah, that could be definitely could see some ranger levels there.
Try to think. Well, I'm sure we'll probably think of more later when we're not doing this.
Yeah,
It's like, shit, there was this option, and this option, and this option. It's like,
we're not here to be comprehensive.
yeah, we try our best, but we're not perfect. Alright, let's see who's on, because it's about that time. And I got some messes to clean up and a dinner to eat. So,
Yep.
there's that to do. My god, the list is huge today. How much further is it? Alright, here we go. Azure de Blaze, Final Fantasy 14. Another Final Fantasy 14. A lot of people playing 14 today, other than me. That's a shock. It's Smurf. Angel Woman's doing 14. I don't think I've rated her for a while. I think I'll go with that. Unless someone has a suggestion. So, I'll go with that. Alright. Let's make sure she's, one, sticking around. Once I get past the damn ads.
Damn you ads.
So, while we're waiting for ads, you heard about what Twitch recently pulled, right?
Yes, the change in the reimbursement for their
Hey,
creators.
stop that. Don't chew on that, buddy. Did you hear what their suggestion was to make up the difference in reimbursement?
No.
Run more ads. Buddy, stop chewing. She's chewing on a box. Alright, so yeah, it looks like she's going for a while, so let's definitely go for that one. Alright. Alright. So, if you are one of my followers, by all means, please use the following message when we raid Angel Woman. If you are one of my subscribers, please use the following message. Okay? Please stick around for the raid, because the raid gives you extra critical roles, which you can use to tell me what game to play on Wednesdays. You could fireball the tavern, which please don't do that. You can get your own audio-visual entry. You can ask for D&D advice. Oh, sorry. Bastard. You can ask for D&D advice outside of Tabletop Tuesday.
I haven't done one yet.
Yeah, I noticed. Alright. So, with that being said, please stick around for the raid. Join us tomorrow for Wildcard Wednesday, where we're playing more Dragon Age. Hopefully we'll beat it. Remember, everyone, it is always time for tea in the tavern. And I hope to see you tomorrow. Toodles.
Oodles.
It's okay, man. Thanks, Yikes Factory. Just make sure you do your redeem so I know you were here. You tried. I'm not going to hold that against you. Yeah, there we go. I had to refresh the page.